welcome back, everybody, to episode 10. It's episode 10. Oh my God, we actually made it this far. And as you can see, there's a new face because I don't know what happened to Andres. I don't know what happened to him. This is my Tío Jr., our number one fan. And today we're going to have him as a guest for our, he's our first guest to our podcast. So everybody welcome.
Thank you for having me. Oh,
Okay.
damn.
I guess you can start by introducing yourself, Tío.
Yeah. Tell us every little thing about you.
Everything?
How tall you are, what's your hair color,
From the first thing you do,
Your social security number.
Good morning, what you do at night,
bank account.
everything.
I claim
Give us a picture of your birth certificate.
but I'm actually 5'9". With
You
shoes
heard it here
on.
first, he's a liar.
Gives me that little inch I need. And let me see my weight. I'm about 168. People always think I'm skinnier, because I wear big sweaters. It hides the fat.
Okay, now you tell us your social security number.
All right, it's on 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh man, there's really not much about me. Let me see.
Well, we call you. I call you Tío Pancho. But what's like your actual name?
My actual name, I have a long name. It's Javier Francisco Andaya Palencia.
Wow, that is kind of a long name.
Okay, that's
And
one step
nicknames,
closer
I
to
have
people
several.
finding out. Yeah.
I have several.
Give us a few
Of what nicknames?
of your nicknames. Yeah.
Okay, like some of you guys call me, Theo Jr. And then Bernie. I think Nancy calls me Frank.
Really? Why?
Because of my
Because of
middle name.
Francisco.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
And then some of my sisters call me Pancho. Yeah. And then my aunts call me Javier. And then my mom, when she was mad at me, she would call me Francisco. And Carlos calls me Junior. Actually, yeah, the majority of people just call me Junior.
Yeah, I only call you Tío Jr.
Yeah, I call you Tío Jr. too. And
I call you
Karen calls
Pancho.
you Pancho.
Yeah, I call you Pancho.
They're all me.
Multiple
Should we
names.
explain how he's our Tío? Unless you want to
Yeah,
go back
you
to
can
the
explain
timeline.
how he's our
we
Tío,
can
and then
explain
you
the timeline.
have to
Explain the timeline.
explain how he's our Tío Cristo, and then explain how he's Kevin's Tío. Because
Oh
it's
my
kind of
God,
different ways.
with Kevin, that's a big hassle. But
No, it's not.
yes, it is. Okay, so the way that Aylin and I's Tío is because he is the baby brother of my mother.
Yeah,
Okay,
simple as that.
they come from the same mama, my grandma, mi abuela. Okay, and then
Specifying it. Huh?
the woman that came before my mother, that person is his person. Connected is us. Is our relation. Our bond.
Okay,
Our
Cristo.
bloodline.
Move on.
Okay.
Yes.
Move
And
on.
then
So how is Kevin?
Hold on, I have to paint like a little family tree in my head.
It's not that hard.
Okay.
It's really not that hard.
My grandma.
And Kevin's grandma are sisters.
Yes.
Yes.
So-
yes.
Which
Your
makes-
grandma had your mom, myself, and other siblings. I have other siblings. And then
Kevin's grandma.
Kevin's grandma had,
His
two
mom.
daughters. His mom and his aunt. And me and
And his
Kevin's
mom?
mom are cousins.
Correct.
And then we had kids, and that's how we became uncles and aunts
Got
to the kids.
Yeah.
See, that
Yeah.
is complicated. That was
It's
a
not that
complicated
all you had, Krista, you
explanation.
could have just said, because the easiest way you could have said was his mom is cousin,
Cousins,
which makes
yeah.
him His
You
uncle.
know what would have been more complicated though if Andres was here.
Oh
yeah, I'm not gonna go
Now,
into that.
huge relate.
Thank God he's not here. Thank God he's not here.
They would have been like, "Ooh, we gotta start from the beginning with the family tree."
That would have been
Before
Me
time
and
began.
Andres were actually cousins.
cousins. Yeah.
Yeah, he's my cousin. He's not
Yeah,
your
He's
that's
ours.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we
Yeah.
brought up in the last
Yeah.
podcast that we had told everyone. Oh, in the first podcast that we
Yeah.
told everyone he's actually not our cousin, even though we're doing a primo talk.
Yeah.
He's actually our uncle, which is kind of random.
He got lucky he's not here. I was gonna ask him if he had his huevitos today.
Oh, maybe you should say that story.
What are you
I don't
talking
even
about?
know it.
Okay.
Like I just heard of
Okay.
it.
It's good.
I
Yeah.
know.
So I know the story. I know the story. He's not here, so I can't defend him. So his huevitos. So when he was small, by the way, huevitos means eggs, but like in a cutesy way, I guess I could say.
Balls.
But no.
This
But
is
when he
what-
was
well,
when he was a little kid,
Or like
every time they would give him, like, I think at this time my grandma was taking care of him and my mom was there too, because my mom's the one who told the story, and
Okay.
she said that
No,
every
at
time they
first,
take care of
they were
him.
living with us for a bit.
Oh,
before they
then
got
there you go, like
established
that.
and
I don't
everything.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't exactly know the story of how they were there, but like basically he was at my grandma's house, and he will always cry because he only wanted to eat one thing, and one thing only, and that was his huevitos with frijoles.
Yeah.
That's his eggs with
From that
beans.
though.
But like, so then he will cry saying, "Quiero mi huevitos, quiero mi huevitos."
that's fun.
So that's
Oh,
how that story came of Andres' huevitos.
Oh,
That's
I
all
thought
he
you meant
wanted.
something completely different.
No.
I thought you were making fun of him because of something else.
oh,
I was like, what? That's me.
Of his accent?
His accent?
No, because he asked if he had his huevitos.
So you were talking about like if his things had dropped?
His,
Oh.
What
I
are you
was
thinking
like,
about?
that's really mean.
Oh, no.
I was like, that's really mean. But okay, go ahead.
So Theo, since you are our number one fan, I'm pretty sure you've watched all of our podcasts from the
Yes.
beginnt till now.
We hope you did.
And you have
Yeah.
seen that majority of our podcast is actually talking about like, growing up in LA, growing up as
Mhm.
Latinos and etc. I
Yes.
guess one question is, what is your experience of growing up in LA? I know you weren't born in LA, you were born somewhere else, right?
Yeah, Lindsay,
Okay.
California. That's up north. That's about Fresno area. It's maybe like 10 minutes from
okay.
Fresno. Yeah. And then
How long did you live there for?
To be honest, I don't remember. I was born, and then my mom moved to Washington, and then that's where my memory starts coming. I remember being young in Washington State and going to preschool over there. We lived out there in Washington, I believe, for 8 years. That's where your tias were born.
Oh, I
Anna
didn't know
Susie.
that.
Okay.
And then we came back to LA, and then for a minute we were staying with Mayra, right there on Mayra Street. Funny. And then then we moved. Where was it? Somewhere in like South Central Normandy. It was on Normandy Street. Crazy area. It was in the 90s, so that's where all the gangs
Yeah.
were active, and and at that age, we started moving like frequently every year, every 2 years, we kept moving. Like my elementary years, I went to before I went to my like fourth grade, I went to like maybe like 4 or 5 different schools. Yeah, like freaking kindergarten, first grade, it was a different school. Third grade, or second grade, different school. Third grade, different school. Even fourth grade, it was a different school. I went to Lockwood for like half a semester, and then I transferred to Dayton Heights, and then that's where I stayed.
Wow.
Was
A
it
lot of
hard,
us have
like,
gotten there.
making- Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it hard, like making friends or like trying to
Yeah,
stick
I didn't
with
make no
something?
friends, and the funny thing is that
Oh,
because we would move so often,
He's
I
like,
couldn't
"Yay,
make friends, you know.
Uh-huh.
And then the funny story is that when we lived in Washington, um, what's it called? The only language I would speak was Spanish,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah.
then I was at home, you know, so that's the only language I spoke. That's the only language I knew.
Do you mind telling the story of when you tried
Yes.
to
Speak Spanish? I
when you
speak
tried
English?
Yeah.
when you told everybody that you spoke English, but you what were you speaking still? What's the
Yeah.
language called? Gibberish?
Man, I don't know what language. I don't think that's an actual language, but you know, it's like So when we lived in Washington, it was like the neighbors, like they weren't like here in LA where the buildings are right next to each other. Everything was at a distance, you know.
Okay.
Like so, groups of people would just hang out and stay on their side. They were never like around your area, unless you lived, there. So I tried to make friends, and I would go outside. Sad story. I would play with I would play by myself.
Well, okay.
And I would like literally have a ball, and I would just throw it up and catch it. And then I would do that all the time. And then
No.
one time, I threw it and hit a kid, and I was happy because there was another kid. I was like, "Oh, want to play?" And he would speak a language that I didn't know what it was. So I was just show him the ball, like, ¿Quieres jugar? Like, you want to play? And for a minute, he was like playing with me, and then all of a sudden, he just left. And I'm like, okay, what do I do now? So I just, continued playing with the ball by myself. And then eventually a group of kids came and, they wanted to play with the ball. So I'm like, all right, cool. I made friends. And they were speaking this language that, I didn't know what it was. It was English, you know? And,
Clarification. It was English.
it was, because I only spoke Spanish, So like every time I said something or I mumbled something, they would just be like, they would agree with me. So I thought, that I was speaking the language. I'm like, oh,
It's that easy.
yeah, I was like, because I was like 5, 6 years old, So I thought I knew how to speak, and then like my sister, your mom would see me, hang out with these kids, So I thought in my head, oh, I know how to speak this language. And then she's older than me, so she already kind of knew the language. So she was like, "Oh, well, say something," and I would mumble a word. And she was like, "What are you saying?" I'm like, "Like what? You don't understand?" And then
Wait,
she was like,
yeah.
"What
So
happened?"
how old was our mom when she learned English?
Well, I don't know. Like I
Because
said,
she's
yeah, she's 5 years older than me. So if I was 5, she was 10. So I'm pretty.
like around 10 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's funny.
Well,
So
what would
to
you
this
say?
day,
What were you...
Do you know
to be
what
honest,
you meant to say? At least like in your mind?
I don't. Well,
Or were you just letting it spit? Like,
yeah, I was just,
Were you just saying
letting it
random?
go.
Or were you just saying random like combo dada like?
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
Joe,
Like your mom says that I was just, speaking like a dog. I was like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." you know. I can't
That's too funny.
say no because I don't remember it, but I'm pretty sure it was something similar to that.
That's like one of my mom's favorite stories to
Yeah,
tell.
That's why we were like, we have to hear
Yeah,
this.
we have to mention
Yeah.
it.
So yeah, I didn't learn how to actually speak English until I was in the 4th grade.
Damn.
Yeah, Dayton Heights.
I didn't know that. Mm-hmm.
And that's
Oh,
where
that's when you were in Dayton Heights.
yeah, and that's where I met Bye. I don't know if you guys know my
No.
friend
Mm-mm.
Who?
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
MBA.
Have you met?
I think you have. He's also friends with Bernie.
Probably might
By the
have.
way-
Probably need like a picture or something to like see who it is.
By the
Like,
way, people,
he
if
came
everyone
from,
doesn't know,
Senegal.
Bernie is actually our cousin.
Yeah, Bernie's our cousin.
You know,
That's
so
not
because Bai came from Senegal, and he was also new to
LA.
that school.
Okay.
And me and him became friends because he was trying to. We were both trying to learn how to speak English.
Also, he was also like a native Spanish speaker.
Correct.
He was in a Spanish speaker. Was he a Spanish speaker?
Yes, he was. Theo just said that he was a
Yeah.
Spanish speaker, so they were both trying to learn the language.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's kind of cool. Like you actually met someone that was within like your struggle, I guess you could say.
Yeah. And until this day, we're still friends.
that's cool. That's crazy.
Damn.
So, like,
True friendship.
in Lince, all the kids that you guys spoke to, they only knew Spanish as well?
Where?
From what you remember?
In Lince? I don't remember Lince, to be honest. Like I said, I was born, and then all of a sudden we moved to Washington.
Got it.
And then that's where my memories came from. Yeah. And then
What do you remember about Washington?
the snow.
Mm.
The
That's
snow.
something
And,
we have never experienced.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
just
we
as a
never
regular day.
yeah. And then literally just having fun with myself. It might sound that weird, but
Yeah, a little bit.
it was like I said, I didn't have friends, so like I just had to entertain myself, like play with balls, footballs, or soccer balls.
You just keep walking into it.
No, you keep going with it.
Well, we don't know. He could just be hiding us.
It was lonely,
It was.
Yeah.
And the only actually good thing, well, besides the snow that I do remember, is Christmas. Like every Christmas, we would go to the woods and cut a Christmas tree, and bring it back.
That's nice. That's really cool.
Yeah, that was it. But besides that, it was nothing but bad.
Do you remember what it was like when you guys moved to LA? Like, was it like a culture shock to you?
No, definitely.
Like being more populated and like.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's
being more
the
diverse.
number one thing. It's like you're so used to being a recluse, being away from people, that when we came to LA, it's like damn, anywhere you went, there was like at least 100 people, and it was like goddamn, elbow room.
And you guys came in like '94. Did you guys come before or after the earthquake in Northridge?
Yeah, no, we were already here.
Yeah.
So we came here in '93, I believe. It was '93. Yeah. No, I'm
was
not.
it the
Maybe
first
90.
time
It
you
was like
guys
92.
experienced? Yeah. Okay. Was that the first time you guys experienced anything like that?
Hell yeah, that was the first time.
That's a nasty first time experience. Like a little welcome.
You're like, hey, welcome to LA.
Yeah, like this is life.
And then when that earthquake happened, we lived in the streets for about almost 2 weeks.
Damn.
Because the building, it was an old building, it's still standing. They had to inspect it, and it was taking forever.
Wow.
So we weren't the only ones. Everybody that lived there, I think Mayra was there también. We were all living in sleeping in freaking parking lot, LACC parking lot.
Oh, okay.
The one right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
The swap meet is that one?
Where the outside swap meet is?
The Saturday and Sunday Swami.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shoot, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Wait, is that building still there, like to this day right now?
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Have you passed by it and you're like,
that's
crazy.
Those memories.
Yeah.
He was about to say that was a good time.
Yeah, I was like that.
I don't think it was a good time.
I think it was a good time.
Well,
but you saw his hesitation.
Yeah, that little living there was, fun, because that's where I, began to speak English, and then I made friends. Like all my friends are literally in that block, and some of them I still talk to them to this day. Other people I don't. But that's where
happens.
That's what it is.
yeah, that's where I
Was it
made
cool,
all
but
my
like
friends.
with
Yeah.
with the neighborhood that you lived in, did you feel at least a little more
Mhm.
comfortable because you were surrounded with a lot of Latinos? Like, did it like kind of
Yeah,
ease it
I
in,
did.
or did you still feel like there was a lot of pressure to like learn this language or like to
Well, I
set
already
yourself in a different norm?
no. I think it was easier just because everybody in that block would just speak Spanish, and I was like, oh, I know that
Oh
language.
yeah.
You know,
Like that's one
These are my
thing.
people.
my people.
it was going to school is where I felt uncomfortable. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah,
because
because
people,
it's
all the kids knew English, and
English.
you know, I was the reverse of a sabo kid. You know,
You were a
so I
sisabo. Oh, you were
yeah
sise. Yeah.
yeah.
Sis.
She's
You
like,
know?
kid.
Mhm. So yeah, that's where I felt uncomfortable. You know, but once I started making friends, you know, and knowing that they knew how to speak Spanish as well, I felt comfortable, and it made it easier to learn because once, especially when you're with friends, sometimes you speak in Spanish or Spanglish, and
Hmm.
then you're able to learn the language way faster.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Now, I have a question. What was it like in the 90s, or like being a teenager growing up in LA?
Yes,
What was that
I want to
experience
know.
like? Because
Ah,
being a teenager in LA now is like a completely different thing
And
yeah,
than what
it
it would
was
have
even
been.
different when we were teenagers. Like,
Yeah, like than what it would have been in the 90s.
crazy.
What was it
I
like?
would like when we lived on San Marino and Mariposa. I was in third grade. I had to walk myself to school. Yeah, like I'm a third grader walking to school. It wasn't even like down the block. It was like at least a good
miles.
15-20 minute walk, and then your mom had to go the other way. You know, forgot what grade she was in, and that was fucking kind of scary because at that time the crack epidemic was going hard. Gangs were active, and even at that time, so early in the morning, you still see them. They were still posted, and it's just like a 6-year-old kid, 7-year-old kid, just walking down the block, seeing all that. It was like you're scared. So I would
Hmm.
try to run to school because sometimes they'll try to stop you, the crackheads, and not to harm you, but just to ask you, hey, you got some money, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And you're scared, you don't want to talk to nobody, you're just trying to get to school. That was scary. And then at night, living in that area, that was I don't know if I could say the gangs that lived in that area.
Yeah. Don't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
We
did that
don't
It
mistake
say.
last
was, it
time.
was
You did.
yeah.
You
I was like, they're gonna end up coming in.
It's like
I mean, I don't think
like
it's that bad anymore nowadays, but still.
Yeah, but still,
yeah,
you want to be safe. You never
If
know.
it's something that's still active, you probably don't want to
oh,
mention it.
definitely that
Yeah.
is like it's in the
Oh.
news. When anytime they want to talk about a gang, they always mention that gang, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
So like at night is like you, me and your sister. I mean, your sister, me and my sister. We had a
My
bunk
mom.
bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And like every other night there was gunshots. At first, we were scared, but it became so frequent that we already had a routine. We would just roll off the bed, go under the bed, stay there. Sometimes we would, just pass out under the bed, just because you hear 3 gunshots. 10 minutes later, you hear another 3, 4 gunshots, and then you hear people screaming, and it was just like, just stay under the bed. Yeah. And then from there, we moved to where was it, on Madison and Marathon, and that right there was also active, but not in that block. It was further down, so we would hear it, but not. It wasn't as close as it was when we lived in San Marino and Mariposa. Because San Marino, Mariposa, that's we heard it literally outside. It was outside, and I don't know. Yeah, well, your aunt Ellie, she was that's her dad. he was, affiliated with the neighborhood, and then he got, shot up. He was Tupac before Tupac. I think he got shot like, or he got shot up like, I don't know, 8 times.
It was like 50 Cent. Oh, that's 50 Cent then.
Oh, 50 Cent?
Yeah, he still has it inside of him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
A
does.
bullet, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he still has
They
the
couldn't
bullet.
remove it because he could
It
have
was,
died.
like, close to his
Yeah,
heart.
They
it's
just
like
left it there.
too close to his heart that they couldn't
bet
remove the
you-
bullet.
I bet she brings that up all the time with the ladies. She's like, yeah, I got a bullet in me. Yeah.
And yeah, like it was just so active that, like your options of, surviving as a teen were, minimal. You either join it somehow, some way, or you either doing drugs, because everybody there was either active in the gang life, selling drugs, or doing drugs.
So which one did you do?
Yeah,
None.
did you ever?
All of the above.
No, but I do have a question. Like, did you ever
Check
like?
all the boxes.
Did you ever catch yourself like maybe probably almost dripping to that route? And if you
Yeah.
didn't, a lot of your friends did?
I do have friends that, they decided to go down that route. And the more that I would hang out with them, is like, that's why with some of them I'm still friends with, because they would always tell me, hey, like, stop hanging out right here, bro. Like, stop coming around, man, because they're gonna jump you in. And I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, I thought we were just having fun, I thought we were just hanging out, playing, basketball. They're like, no, it's, they're just trying to set you up, man. Like, the more you hang out with them, it's like they're like pulling in the rail. It's like, all right, he's getting closer, and then boom, they got you. And yeah, like they would always tell me, like, hey, just don't come around anymore, bro. And I'm like, why? We're not friends anymore. He's like, oh no, we could still hang out, but don't come over here, because they're gonna get you in.
Mhm.
And he's like, and trust me, you don't want to get in. And I'm like, all right.
Feels like
cool.
a lot of pressure,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's really scary.
Yeah.
Like if you really think about it,
Yeah.
like it's all just a big trick,
Yeah.
So what-
in some way.
What do you think really like kept you out of that? Like what kind of mentality were you in? It's like, I'd rather go do this instead.
Oh,
what
sure.
did you do something
Well,
else to like keep you out of that?
Well, the fear I had, that fear of my mom knowing, because my mom was very tough, and just knowing her, like finding out that I would join something, she would woo up my butt. So I'm like, nah. That was, besides her, it was just sports in school.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I remember I
It was
was going through some of my dad's pictures, and you were in some of them.
Yeah, because like since '95, Bernie and myself, we would start joining football teams, soccer teams at Bellevue. And like we would walk up, join, sign up, and that's what kept us out.
Is that why
Yeah.
also you put your son Xavier in the Bellevue
Yeah, definitely.
League too?
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Kind
and
of like
they're not happy that you guys
tradition.
forgot about them on the first episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, forgot. She,
Oh, we brought them up now. Wait, have you noticed? If you noticed, we've brought them up a couple of episodes now. I brought
We're
up
trying to
your
make it up.
daughter. I brought
Yeah.
up your daughter in episode 8. And now we brought up your son today.
I brought
A little.
We're trying to make up for it, okay?
All right,
It's the thought that counts.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
because
see.
if you don't have a distraction or something that you're trying to gain, or if you don't have a plan for your life, there's a lot of distractions out there. And one slip up just might cost you
Easily.
everything.
Did you feel like it was like that, like throughout your entire like teen life,
Oh yeah, definitely.
like building up to like your 20s? Like it was just the same like
Yeah.
active thing going around, like where you guys kept moving, like in different
Yeah.
parts of LA.
Like, well, actually, we stopped moving like in 90, yeah, like 90. Actually, no, we always kept moving, but we didn't move as frequent as we did before that. You know, it's
Okay.
like I said, from kindergarten to like fourth grade, I went to like 4 or 5 different schools, and then after that, I went to Dayton Heights for fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, and then Virgil, and then
Oh, you went
from
to Virgil? I didn't know you went
yeah,
to Virgil.
yeah, and then
I'm Tigers.
from I'm a tiger, and then and then from what they call from elementary to middle school, we only moved once, but it was from
Okay.
Madison and Marathon to Monroe and Madison, so it was just down the block.
Okay, so yeah, so it's still
Yeah,
in
still
LA
within the whole.
regardless.
I mean,
Yeah.
So it was like a lot
uh,
less moving as you started getting older,
yeah,
basically.
definitely. And then after middle school, I went to Marshall, and then from Marshall, that's when we moved back to Marathon, but closer to Virgil. Instead of Madison and Marathon, it was Virgil and Marathon.
Okay.
Okay, I have a
And then I
question
think
since
we
you brought
still
up
stayed
Marshall.
there like till the end.
I have a question since you brought up Marshall. I know you tried to ditch a couple of times at Marshall.
Oh.
Do you want to bring up that little incident that you had?
little-
Maybe let everyone know, like, to not ditch school. And
And
if
to
you've
remember,
already, and if
this
you
is-
did,
Yeah.
ditch school, maybe your most embarrassing moment of ditching school.
And just for everybody, for moments where you want to take advantage of it, just know that this is a blessing to be able to move. Okay?
I
This is a
think
real blessing, okay? You don't know what you got until until it's gone, okay? Go ahead.
All right. Let me try to remember the whole story or parts of it. I think it was like second period. I think it was math. It was algebra, and then my friend and myself were like, "Oh, there's a test today." Like, we didn't want to take the test because we didn't prepare for the test. So we're like, "All right, let's just go to the donut shop and then come back." I'm like, "All right, cool." So, you guys went to Marshall, right?
Aylin and I did. Kevin didn't.
Well, I know
Okay.
where like the stuff is.
You know where I don't know if you remember where the bus stop is at?
Yeah, the
it's
side
by
of the school.
near the volleyball courts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If for
That
those people
fence.
that are not from Marshall, that's actually where the little market is at now.
Oh yeah, because there's a
The
market there every
flea market,
weekend.
I think it is.
Like the Los Feliz like flea market or whatever.
Yeah, but continue.
Well, that fence that's right there, it was like we were gonna jump it, and there were other people jumping in. We're like, the hell? I'm like, all right, cool. So there was a line of kids, jumping it, and then it was my turn. So I ran and I grabbed onto the fence and I was gonna swing my feet over the fence. But before I did that, the guy in back of me didn't wait, so he ran after I ran. So when my feet were over the fence, he jumped, and with his head, he hit my feet, and I went vertical, and then I fell. Boom.
Okay.
And then I tried to stop myself, and it's not that smart. It's concrete. And my wrist just went back with all my weight.
Jesus Christ.
But I still got up. I still caught the bus.
Okay, but
And
what
then-
happened when
Just
you got
like-
in the bus? What happened when you got in the bus, though? When you got in the bus?
Oh, I sat in the back, and there was this girl there, and she kept looking at me, and I was like, "You think my wrists are broken?" And yeah, she's just like, "Yeah, I think they are." So,
No. But you skipped the part when you were trying to get your bus
Bus
pass.
pass.
oh man, I had my bus pass in my wallet, my back pocket, and I'm trying to grab it with my hand, but remember, my wrists are broken. So I couldn't really, grab my wallet because I couldn't make any, strength. But I struggled, and I somehow, some way, I pulled it out. I grabbed my pass, got in the bus, and I didn't put it back in my pocket. I just held on to my wallet because it hurt so much. And then I went to, instead of going home, because I knew, my mom is still there. She hasn't gone to work, and she sees me like this, she's gonna beat me up.
Yeah.
So I went to Birdie's house. And I was like, because I know, I'm not sure if he called out to the school because he was sick, or I don't know what reason, but he didn't go to school that day. But I knew he was home, so I went, and I was trying to knock, but I couldn't knock with my hands.
I'm still broken.
So, and then he had a glass door. Yeah, he had a glass door, so I couldn't kick it. So I was using my forehead to knock. And that didn't work, so I started using my elbows. I was like, eventually, he heard the struggle of me knocking, and he opens the door. He sees me, and his reaction is just to start laughing. He started laughing.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm like, dude, my wrists are broken. And he's like, yes, I know that.
I can tell.
and then eventually I went in, and then Mayra came out, and then she saw my wrist. She's like, oh, you got to go to the doctor, And then all this time I had my backpack on. I didn't realize, I didn't think about taking off my backpack. And then she told me, maybe if you take off your backpack, you could stand up straight, because I couldn't stand up straight because of the pain. And
Yeah.
eventually I took off my backpack, and Bernie took me to the children's hospital. And yeah, they took care of me.
What was my grandma's reaction? Do you remember my grandma's reaction?
Yeah. After, the good thing is that when Bernie took me to children's hospital, Mayra called my mom.
Okay.
And she told her, what happened. So by the time I got home, my mom, she was trying to be serious, but she just couldn't hold it in, and she just started laughing. She's like, I can't even be mad at you. She's like, just go lay down. Are you hungry? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get you something to eat. And that was it.
That's true.
That was the only time it was brought up. Because I guess I look so funny that she couldn't even be mad at me.
Were you in a cast?
I was my cast.
It was like this.
Yeah.
You were like,
I had past my elbow.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
You're like, touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what's his name? The water boy? What's his name?
From Grown Ups?
You mean,
the grown? Oh yeah, Grown Ups.
I remember Grown Ups. Yeah.
Yeah,
Grown Ups. Yeah, Grown Ups.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I had those casts on for almost a whole year.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah. Because
That was impressive enough.
That's
they
another
were
day
past my
to
elbow.
not ditch class.
Yeah, don't. They were past my elbow, and then they lowered one of them down, but the other one I kept it. And then eventually they lowered that one down, and they lowered it down like 3 times. And then on one of my wrists, the bone that connects your thumb to your elbow, to your freaking wrist, was like off.
Did it go right?
Yeah. So they had to put it back, but when they put it back, there was a hole in between. So they had to let the bone heal. So they had to leave a cast on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really messed
And-
yourself up. Was it
Yeah.
embarrassing going to school
All
after that?
because you
Yep,
did not want to take the
definitely.
test.
Yeah.
It was
Mhm.
embarrassing.
Oh,
Honestly, I
definitely.
would have just taken the F. I would have just taken
How
the
was
F.
it? No, wait. How was it explaining, like, when they asked you what happened? Like, were you honest with them, or did you make something up to sound cooler? Because I would have been embarrassed.
I couldn't.
Like, I would not
because,
have said, I was trying to dish school.
I couldn't make nothing up because apparently school security saw the kids climbing the fence and they ran towards us. I didn't know this.
Uh-huh.
And that's the reason the kid in back of me didn't wait. Since he saw the security coming,
Mhm.
he just took off right after I did. And security saw what happened to me, but they were still inside the school, and they saw that my wrists were broken, so they told administration, and then the other kids that were there, they also knew what happened to me, and they spread the word. And when I went back to school, they didn't
Everyone
know
knew.
who it was, but once they saw the kid was too mad,
touchdown
they're like, "Oh,
man."
it was that guy."
It's like,
Yeah,
you put a face to the story. You put a face
exactly.
and a name to the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
the,
my
That's
goodness.
funny.
the only
That
good
is
thing
really
that came
funny.
out of it is that teachers were extra nice to me.
Because you
Yeah.
can't write or anything.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you really couldn't do
Mhm.
anything. Oh my goodness.
But
That's
yeah.
way
That's too
too
funny. Yeah, don't ditch class.
Yeah,
If you did,
Just make sure you know how to jump a fence, or like that there's nobody in back of you.
or if that
Exactly.
person does not jump a fence as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But do you guys know how to jump a fence?
No.
No.
Oh, damn.
I
Man,
think
that's
we tried
disappointing.
it one time to get like we were playing like outside or something. I think Aylin tried it and she ripped like her shirt or something.
No, I ripped my pants.
Oh, she ripped her
Her
pants.
But
pants.
it wasn't a good angle. It was like next to my knee. So like nothing like my shoulders were not showing or anything.
Okay.
It wasn't an embarrassing moment. But like all I did was just sew the pants back on.
So
No, I never jumped.
I remember Pancho was telling me that he was a ladies' man back then. That he and his friends used to go to the mall and then they used to play a game where they would get like girls' numbers. Is this true?
Oh, like you guys were count?
Oh,
Mm.
do tell.
Oh, yeah. It was okay. We were right. Okay. It was myself,
Should I?
Jesse, and my friend Jaime. Okay. And Jaime, he had the good looks. He was a guy that was like the Rico Suave.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so easy for him to approach a girl, or sometimes girls would approach him. So Jesse and myself, we weren't that confident. So so they were like, all right, like, well, why don't we just play a game? Like, okay, what's the game? Like, yeah, holler for $1. And we're like, okay, what does how do we play this game? They're like, all right. So when I see a girl and I think that she's pretty, I'm gonna tell one of you guys to go talk to her. If you go talk to her and you get her number, and you come back and you show us that you got her number, we'll give you $1. I'm like, all right, cool. So whoever sees a girl, could pick somebody from the group and be like, all right, you gotta go talk to her, or So me being, not that confident, every time I would see a girl, I would, point her out and be like, hey, you go talk to her. So in my head, I'm like, I'm not approaching the girl, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
But not realizing that the more they went and they would come back with numbers, I was losing money. I was like, oh shit, here's $1.
Yeah.
Well, here's $1. So eventually they started building confidence, and that was the whole point of the game, is just to build confidence. It's like you might go the first time, you might not get the number, but at least you'll know what to say the second time. Well, at least go with more confidence.
Mm-hmm.
This
And
is
then
something
you
that
start-
me and Andres need to do.
And then you start approaching that easily, and then you build a little script of how to approach somebody. Sometimes you don't even have to go to them and be like, "Hey, what's up, girl?" You just could bump into her and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, do this," or like, "Oh, I spilled something," and then start a conversation off of that. So
Interesting.
that's what
I
we
like
do.
the little, "Hey, what's up, girl?"
I know.
Right.
Like,
I thought that was normal back then,
okay,
though. That was
Yeah.
definitely normal back then.
Was that the line back then?
No,
Like,
that wasn't the line. At least not. No. It's like for my other friend, that was probably his line because, like I said, he had the looks and everything. It was so easy for him to do it. So he could cough and the girl would be like, "Oh, are you okay?"
Oh my god.
It was just But for us, it's like we had to build a little script of what to say, what to talk about. If she answers, how to reply back to that answer, and eventually, we got confident enough that we were able to talk to like anybody.
Damn, interesting. You see, this is what me and Andres need to do.
Yeah, for us.
Especially Andres.
Yeah, and it's funny because at first it was a game just to get numbers, but not realizing that actually it was a building confidence type of game.
Yeah.
And it builds your
Interesting.
self-esteem. It's like once you get that first number, it's like you start feeling like, "Oh shit, I got it. And yeah, like it was a fun game.
funny. Okay, so there's one more story that I want my Tío to mention because it has to do with me. So my Tío and I are very close, but
I know which story.
let's mention the
What
story of when everybody thought that
When
I was
Krista-
kidnapped. When everybody thought I was kidnapped and they called the police and everything. Let them know.
That
So-
was it, the helicopters were everywhere, just for everyone else.
Yeah. There was this close to like an
Wait, how old
Amber
were you?
Alert situation.
Krista
I
was
have no
small.
idea.
She was like 5. She was
I
like
was
5 or
probably
4.
like 4 or 5.
Yeah, she was really
I don't
small.
remember the story. I just know it's been something that's been told to me my entire life. But I think this is such a funny story because of the ending of it, the way that it came to like a finish. That I think is like so funny. Let's see if he remembers.
Not what's it called? I don't know where I came from, and we were living on Marathon and Virgil. And then where your mom lived downstairs, my grandma lived upstairs, and like you were outside playing, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the store. Like, you want to go?" And then
I think something we should mention is my grandma was supposed to be watching me. Okay.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be taking care of me. Okay.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Sorry.
And then we went, she was like, "All right, cool." I'm like, "I'll buy you something." So we walked, and then I got a call from Nevaeh's mom, because at the time she worked at Jack in the Box. That's right there on Vermont. So I'm like, "All right, cool." I'm like, after I go to the store, I'll go over there and I'll walk you home. So we went to the store and then we walked towards Jack in the Box. And then remember this. When I got home, I just went upstairs, got changed. I saw Crystal outside and I asked her, "Hey, you want to go with me to the store?" I didn't tell nobody. So I just grabbed her and took her, like that's my niece. It's like so we went.
Yeah.
And then when we went to Jack in the Box, she was scheduled to come out by the time we got there, but they told her if she could stay like an extra hour. So we just stayed in Jack in the Box, just waiting. And then they told her, "Can you stay another hour?" So we were already there for an hour, and they told her if she could stay an hour longer. And then they were like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go home because I'm gotta go home." They were like, "Cool." And then we went the long way. We didn't even go the shortcut way. We went the long way. just because I think she had like a freaking milkshake or something, So and I had to,
Yeah,
you know,
my
I
mom
had to
said I
drink.
had an ice cream with
Yeah.
me. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So we were like, let's go the long way so we could enjoy it, you know. And then all this time, remember, an hour and a half has passed by. You know, I haven't told anybody that I took her. I haven't, you know, I didn't even realize that I had to, you know, ask somebody. So this whole time we are just walking and we're seeing, you know, helicopters. We were hearing sirens, and we're like, what was going on? Yeah, we're just like, all right. So we're just walking, and like,
Oh my goodness.
remember, we're going the long way. Instead of going through
Mhm.
Madison,
Yeah.
we decided to go up Normal, and then on Virgil, cut to go straight down Marathon. So as we're going, we're just like, you know, just having fun, enjoying, you know, our ice cream. And the sirens are getting louder, they're getting closer, and then we're like, damn, something happened. You know. So once we turned the corner, eventually we got to Marathon and we turned the corner, and then there's there's like freaking 5 cops there, and we're like, the fuck is going on? And then my sister, your mom, she saw us walking, and she just started screaming and yelling and running towards us, and we're like, what the hell is going on? You know. So and then eventually we got there, and then they were like, oh my god, you have her, why didn't he tell us that you took her? I'm like, she was outside playing by herself. It was like, you know, it's like I didn't it's like I didn't know. I thought you guys knew that I took her, because I went upstairs and, you know, I came downstairs and nobody was around, so I'm like, oh, they probably saw me, you know, take her. And nope. But eventually, when we got there, your mom was going hysterical. My mom was mad. Everybody was either mad at me and yelling at me, and the cops are just like looking at me like, who are you?
Like,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, that's
Were we
my
arrested or
sister.
not?
Yeah, like they were looking at me like, should we arrest this guy? You know. But eventually,
Oh,
like,
that's funny.
you know,
I think what makes it,
they,
yeah.
they were told you know, who I was and what happened, and I explained to them why I took her and where we were and everything, and eventually they laughed and they left. But
I
this
just think
whole
what's
time
so funny is that, yeah.
it was like 2 hours.
Wait,
Yeah.
that's a really long time.
I was
That's a
like,
really long time. No, what I
yeah.
think is so funny is that when my mom like explains it from her perspective, she just sees me like holding hands with my tío, skipping and like eating my ice cream, all happy. Meanwhile, there's like cop cars, helicopters, and everything going on. Like,
Yeah, we were
this
having
does
a good.
not look
Yeah,
like
we
a
were having a
child
good
that was
time.
kidnapped and like hurt or anything like that. I was just there for the vibes and everything. I was like, I got my ice cream. I don't care what's going on.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
Fun
No, but
times,
what's
fun
so
times.
funny is that from my mom's perspective, like when it all happened, she had just gotten back from work and she went
Yeah.
upstairs to my grandma asking, like, ¿Y la
Where's
Cristal?
Crystal?
You know, like, where's Crystal? And my grandma was like, she's outside playing. She's outside playing. Not knowing that I was probably already gone for like 30 so minutes. And then she goes and she asks my sister, Aylin, like, where's your sister? I don't know. You know, so nobody knows where I am. So I think that's like, just from like her perspective, that was probably like such a scary moment. But I was having the time of my life. I was like,
Drinking
I
your
had Jack in the
milkshake.
Box, had my ice cream or whatever. Like, I could care
Yeah.
less. But yeah, that's probably like one of my favorite stories.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, we are coming up to an hour, guys. You guys want to
Yeah.
wrap up the episode there?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I think we ended here. This is like a fun episode.
Yeah.
This
Funny
definitely
stories.
won't be the last time he is going to be on the podcast. There's a lot more stories we do have to tell with him.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
As everyone saw, they saw a couple of funny experiences already. So we
Yeah,
have
just
fun.
a little of what, like,
little taste.
it's just a little what, like, our family dynamic is like.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
Something, yeah.
There's more broken bones.
But
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember.
Yeah.
At Bellevue, we had a family party, and we were playing soccer. And then,
Oh wait, I kind of remember this.
yeah,
I remember this. Yeah,
we'll save that one. We'll save that one.
we'll save that one. Yeah, we'll save that one.
Okay, so
I just
he's an even audience more.
yeah, keep him wanting it. All right, guys.
Okay, I guess we cut it off
Okay.
here.
Yeah, appreciate you guys joining in for this special podcast
Thank you for having
episode
me.
10. Yeah,
Of course.
appreciate you for coming on. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and to follow us on Instagram and TikTok. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Well, we'll see you on the next time, episode 11. All right, see you.
Bye.
Okay.